Hi, my name is Sarah Whipple and I'm here with Xendurance here in my kitchen, and we are making up some fall recipes, starting off with some protein pumpkin pancakes. We're ending it with some apple spiced shake. Okay, so we're starting off with our pumpkin protein pancakes, and we're going to be using the Xendurance vanilla protein. First, we're going to start by doing all of our dry ingredients. So I also like to add that this is also paleo, so we're using like almond flour, tapioca flour. So we're going to start off by doing just half a cup of almond flour, doing all my dry ingredients first, a third cup of the tapioca flour, and then I'm going to do 2 scoops of the vanilla protein. And then I like to do some pumpkin spice. So pumpkin pie spice, or if you have cinnamon, nutmeg, you can do some combination. But you're just going to do 1 tablespoon of the pumpkin spice. So I usually just kind of guesstimate, but something along 1 tablespoon. And then something to help fluff it up, we're going to do the baking soda. So just a half a teaspoon of some baking soda. And I just kind of like to eyeball it a little bit. Half a teaspoon. And then from there, I'm just going to mix up the dry ingredients, make sure everything's mixed together. And then after I mix those together, I'm just going to set that aside. And then I'm going to start doing the wet ingredients. So first we're going to start off with 4 large eggs, which actually adds a lot of good protein in the pancake as well. So just 4 large eggs. And then once those are all in there, I'm just going to whisk it together. And then the remaining wet ingredients, we're obviously going to add the pumpkin. So the pumpkin puree, you can do, I just chose organic, but you can obviously just do whatever you can find. So take this jar, and we're just going to add a half a cup of the pumpkin puree. So again, you can either eyeball it or measure it out. I've made this a few times, so it's just like a quarter of the can. Vanilla almond milk, but you can do regular milk, cashew milk, whatever is good for you. And then from there, we're going to be doing a third of a cup of almond milk. You can do any type of milk. And then last few ingredients, a teaspoon of vanilla. And again, a lot goes a long way, so I just have to it's a quarter teaspoon, so I just do just a little capful. I give it some flavor there. And then last ingredient, we're going to do a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. The vinegar actually helps fluff up the pancake, which I found is good. So just a quarter teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar. And then that's all the wet ingredients. So then from there, I'm going to give it a good stir. And then I will take the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients, and I'm just going to combine the 2. So do a little mix. Once I'm done mixing, I'm going to take a pan, and I'm going to add a little bit of coconut oil. You can add olive oil if you want. I like the coconut oil. I just think it heats better with the pancakes. I just the taste of it. So we'll just add a little bit of coconut oil onto the pan. I usually take just a quarter scoop, and we'll just start dishing those onto the pan. Okay, so I just put the pan on the stove, and I'm going to set it to a medium-high heat. And then, like I said, I like to cook with coconut oil. You can do olive oil, grass-fed butter. But I'm just going to add just a little spoonful onto that pan, wait for it to melt. And from there, I like to take just a quarter cup measuring cup just to put the pancakes on. So it should be good to go. I usually test 1, but I have a good feeling about it. I won't need to test it. Okay, so just do a little quarter cup of the pancakes on there. And then I just kind of watch it. Usually when it starts to bubble on top, that means that the pancakes are done to be ready to flip. And just eyeball it. This recipe makes the pancakes, I think, just a good texture. It's not like too thin or runny, or it's not super thick. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. So again, I let that cook for about 2 minutes, and then I'll give it a little flip. So I love cooking with Xendurance protein. I think the protein's really versatile. Like, it's not super chunky. It has really good but not too much flavor where it overpowers your dish. So we cook with it every morning, whether if it's a smoothie, whether we put it in our pancakes, whether I get in their oatmeal, something. And then obviously I usually like to have it after I work out, whether if it's in a quick shake with water or milk, or I actually make a full-on smoothie. Go through a bag within like 10 days. All right, we're gonna start plating the pancakes. Again, first batch is just kind of a tester to see where we're at. Okay, so there's a few, and I'm gonna add a few more because I like to have like 5 or 6 of them stacked on top of each other. And then I'm gonna add, just because it's for fall, I'm gonna add pecans. I feel like pancakes are perfect, especially with kids, because if they don't eat them all, you can freeze them and save them up to weeks, or even, depending on how you freeze them, maybe months. And you can just put them in the put them in the toaster when your kids are ready to eat them. All right, you guys, now it's time for the fun part. You're gonna take your maple syrup and you're just gonna drizzle it. And this is however much you want. So I do like maple syrup. I have some pecans. They're just dry roasted or toasted. Sprinkle those on there. Again, just to add a little extra fall flavor, we're gonna take our pumpkin pie spice and I'm just gonna do a little bit. I think this is like the perfect consistency of a pancake. Pretty darn good. You should give it a try. So this recipe serves about 4 servings. Serving, there's about 16 grams of protein, 40 from the protein powder, and about 24-ish from the egg. So combine that, you get about 16 grams of protein per serving.